Hello everyone, welcome back once again. Myself Anusha M. Gowda, a student teacher of B.Ed first year of KLE Society's College of Education, Ankola. Before going to the topic, let me ask y'all some general questions for which y'all have to answer. First, what does health mean? Yes, health means being well. Second question, does social factors influence health? Yes, obviously, social factors will influence health. Then, what is cell? Yes, cell is structural and functional unit of life. Fourth question, is food necessary for cell and tissue function? Yes, food is necessary for cell and tissue function. It is essential for growth and maintenance of body. Then, how is environment related to health then? Any idea? Yes. So students, in today's class, we shall study about chapter 13 of class 9th science biology related topic, that is why do we fall ill? Why do we fall ill? Any idea? The title itself reveals answer to y'all. So let's discuss about it in detail now. Obviously, health and diseases are oftenly studied together. Then, what do you mean by health? Do you all know the answer? Yes. So, moving on to the topic, health and its failure. So, health is a state of physical, mental and social well-being. The conditions necessary for good health are good physical and social environment, good economic conditions, social equality and harmony, good physical and social environment, including clean surroundings and good sanitation, proper garbage disposal, and clean drinking water facilities. Good economic conditions include job opportunities for all for earning to have nutritious food and to lead a healthy life. Social equality and harmony are necessary for a healthy and peaceful life. Now, let's move on to discuss the differences between healthy and disease-free person. So, what do you observe in this picture? In the first picture, you observe that the children are cheerful and they are actively playing. What about the second picture? In the second picture, you see a person who is being infected by some disease. He is so restless and he looks so nervous. So, what is the difference between these two pictures? Let's discuss it in detail. So, let's see the difference between healthy and disease-free person. In case of healthy, it is a state of physical, mental and social well-being. Whereas in case of disease-free, it is a state of absence from disease. Second, it refers to individual physical and social environment in case of healthy. Whereas in disease-free, it refers only to the individual. Third one, in case of healthy, individual has good health, whereas in disease-free, individual may have good health or poor health. So, we often wonder around question, what does disease look like? Any idea? So, let's look into the topic now. So, what do you observe here? Yes, you observe doctor and patient. So, a doctor is examining her patient in this picture. So, when a person is affected by a disease, either the normal functioning or the appearance of one or more systems of the body changes for the worse. These changes give rise to signs of the disease called as symptoms. On the basis of the symptoms, the physicians look for the signs of particular diseases and conduct tests to confirm the disease. Diseases are of many types. Let's move on to discuss the types of diseases now. Diseases are of different types. They are as follows. So, let's discuss the types of disease. Firstly, acute diseases. So, what are acute diseases? So, acute diseases are diseases which last only for a short period of time and does not have long-term effect on health. What are the examples of acute diseases now? You can say cold, cough, typhoid, cholera, etc. as you observe in the picture. So, moving on to next type of disease, that is chronic disease. What are chronic disease? So chronic diseases are diseases which last for long time and has long-term drastic effect on health. So can you give me some examples of chronic diseases? Yes, for example, diabetes, tuberculosis that is TB, elephantiasis, arthritis, cancer, etc. as you observe in these pictures. Now, moving on to third type of disease, that is infectious disease. What is infectious disease also called as? It is called as communicable disease. So what are infectious disease? Infectious diseases are diseases which spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, vectors, physical contact or sexual contact. So can you give me examples for infectious diseases? Yes, for example, common cold, chicken pox, mumps, measles, typhoid, cholera, tuberculosis, malaria and AIDS, etc. as you observe in these pictures. Moving on to the last type of disease, that is non-infectious disease, that is non-communicable disease. Moving on to the last type of disease, that is non-infectious disease. What are non-infectious disease also called as? They are also called as non-communicable diseases. So, non-infectious diseases means the diseases which are not spread from an infected person to a healthy person. So, what are the examples for non-infectious disease? For example, beriberi, rickets, scurvy, night blindness, diabetes, cancer and high blood pressure as you observe the images of these diseases here. So, now how are diseases caused? You know that there are 4 types of disease. Each and every disease requires some agencies. So how are diseases caused? Any idea? So now let's discuss about causes of diseases. So observe the picture. Diseases are caused by pathogens like virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoans or worms. Second one, poor health and undernourishment. Third one, malfunctioning of body parts. Fourth one, environmental pollution. Fifth one, that is genetic disorders. Now, let's discuss about infectious diseases in detail. So, infectious agents. What are infectious agents? Any idea? Yes, agents which cause infectious diseases are called pathogens. So, these are bacteria, fungi, protozoans and worms. So all these are called as infectious agents. Why they are called as infectious agents is because they transfer diseases from one person to another. So that is why it is called as infectious agents. So you can observe the tabular column wherein it is given some infectious agents along with the diseases they cause. Now, let's discuss about means of spread of infectious diseases. So, infectious diseases spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, vectors, physical contact and sexual contact. So, first one we'll see how the diseases are spread through air. So, through air, which all diseases are spread? Common cold, tuberculosis, pneumonia, etc. So what are the diseases spread through water? Cholera, amoebic dysentery. Then what are the diseases spread through vectors? For example, in case of mosquito, it causes malaria, dengue and yellow fever. Flies causes typhoid, tuberculosis, diarrhea and dysentery. Now, then what are the diseases which are caused through sexual contact? Syphilis, AIDS, etc. So what is AIDS? AIDS virus can also spread through blood transfusion and from the mother to her child during pregnancy and breastfeeding. Now, you all have learned about agents of various diseases, that is through air, water, vectors and through sexual contact. Now, let's learn about organ specific and tissue specific manifestation. So, Diseases causing microbes enter the body by different means and goes to different organs and tissues. Firstly, the microbes which enter through the nose are likely to enter what? They are likely to enter lungs. What happens first? The microbes from external source will enter into nose and they are likely to enter into lungs. So, what are the examples for your bacteria which cause tuberculosis of lungs? Second, microbes which enter through mouth are likely to stay in the gut. For example, bacteria which causes typhoid or liver, bacteria which causes jaundice in case of the microbes which affect the liver. Third, virus which causes AIDS enter the body through sexual organs or reproductive systems during sexual contact and spread through the lymph to all parts of the body and damages the immune system. Fourth, virus which causes Japanese encephalitis, that is brain fever, enters the body through mosquito bite and it goes and infects the brain, causing brain fever. So, after learning various agents of disease and how diseases are caused, how the microbes will affect certain body parts, one question arises that how can we treat diseases? Yes, the treatment of infectious diseases consists of two steps. So, the treatment of infectious disease consists of they are to reduce the effect of diseases, that is symptoms. They are required to reduce the effect of symptoms of diseases and to kill microbes which cause the disease. Firstly, to reduce the effect of disease. This is done by taking medicines to bring down the effects of diseases like fever, pain or loose motions, etc. and by taking bed rest to conserve our energy. Second, to kill the microbes. This can be done by taking suitable antibiotics and drugs which kills microbes and the diseases is cured. So can you say me which is the most common antibiotics? Yes, so it is penicillin. Now, you might have obviously heard about the English proverb. Most commonly, that is prevention is better than cure. What do you mean by prevention is better than cure? So, now let's discuss about the last topic, that is principles of prevention. There are two ways of prevention of infectious disease. They are general ways and specific ways. So, let's discuss about the first type of prevention method. General ways of prevention. Public hygiene is most important for prevention of infectious diseases. Proper and sufficient food for everyone will make people healthy to resist infection. Airborne disease can be prevented by living in conditions that are not crowded. Waterborne diseases can be prevented by providing safe drinking water. Vector-borne diseases can be prevented by providing clean environment. Let's discuss now about specific ways of prevention. The specific ways is to prevent infectious diseases, immunization by taking vaccines. Vaccines provide immunity from infectious diseases like tetanus, diphtheria, whooping cough, measles, polio, etc. Our body has an immune system which fights microbial infection. When this system first sees an infectious microbe, it kills the microbes and remembers it. So, if the microbe enters the body the next time, it responds more vigorously. Vaccines mimic the infectious microbe and strengthens our immune system and protects the body from infectious disease. So, what do we conclude that? We conclude that health is wealth. I hope that you all found this video lecture very interesting and thanks for watching.